What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Med Advice. If this is your first time visiting the channel, my name is Jacob and I am a fourth-year medical student getting ready to graduate this upcoming May. And today we're talking about sleep. A survey put out by the National Sleep Foundation discovered that more than half of all people who filled out the survey experienced one of these sleep problems at least a few times a week. Interestingly enough, 33% of all the people that filled out the survey experience one of these every single night. On average, we spend about a third of our lives asleep, so it's impossible to talk about living a healthy and balanced lifestyle without discussing how to get proper sleep. And it's something that I don't think gets talked about enough. For people with busy and changing lifestyles like myself, it's super important to get a great routine and understand all the things that you can do to make sure you get great quality sleep every single night. And as you just heard from those numbers, poor quality sleep is a huge problem for a big part of the population, which is why I always make it a point to address it with every patient that I come in contact with. What we generally talk about before we discuss any supplements or medications is general sleep hygiene, which is basically just the set of practices that you perform each and every day to make sure that you get the best quality of sleep possible. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. The biggest mistake I hear about people making who have trouble sleeping is that they do their nightly routine, they brush their teeth, they get ready, and then they plop into bed and go straight for their phone or their laptop, and they're really sabotaging their efforts by doing that because your natural hormone balance with melatonin and your circadian rhythm is telling you it's time for bed, but you exposing your eyes and your brain to all of this light kind of shuts down that response because light is our natural indicator that it's daytime. If you've ever been to a movie theater during the day, you know what it feels like to walk out of there after 2 hours and feel like you need a nap, because sitting in almost total darkness for 2 hours can really trick the brain into producing melatonin, making us think that it's nighttime and that we're ready for bed. The same principle can be applied at night when it's dark outside and we're ready for bed, but we're exposing ourselves to the light from our phone or our laptop. You're kind of counteracting the body's natural response and the natural tendency to want to go to sleep when it's dark outside. So obviously for this, my biggest recommendation would be not to go into your bed and be on your phone or laptop. Get everything done on them that you need to before it's time to go to bed. And I also recommend to patients a lot of times to have somewhat of a wind down activity, whether that's, reading 15 to 20 pages of a book, or listening to an episode of your favorite podcast, or listening to soothing music, something that is also telling your body that it's time to wind down the day and get ready to go to bed. Caffeine is one of the most consumed substances in the world, and we know how much of a lifesaver it can be in the morning. But what a lot of people don't realize is their late afternoon cup of coffee or their soda or tea with dinner might be the reason they're not sleeping so well at night. So what I always recommend is for people to stop their caffeine consumption no later than right after lunch. And it's about 3 o'clock here, which is why this is just hot chocolate. Next up is exercise. Now, everyone gets preached to about how great exercise is for your overall lifestyle, but a lot of times it doesn't get put into perspective of how it helps you sleep. A lot of the talk about how exercise can help you improve sleep has to do with the timing of that exercise. Now, the golden rule is the best time to exercise is whenever you can fit it into your schedule. But if you can hit that sweet spot of late afternoon, early evening, maybe 4 to 6 hours before you go to bed, it's been shown that it can really help you get to sleep faster and have deeper, more restful sleep during the night. Another thing to look at maybe trying to stop doing is taking daily naps too often. I know sometimes we get tired during the day and we need that, but that extra 1 or 2 hours that you're getting during the day can really have an impact on your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep throughout that same night. Another thing that I like to talk to people about who have issues with sleep hygiene is to make sure that your room and your bed specifically is a place for sleep. If you're someone who works in your bed, who eats in your bed, who watches TV in your bed, when it comes time to go to sleep that night, your brain isn't going to automatically make that connection that your bed is a place for sleep because you've done all of these activities throughout the day in that same place. So your brain is very habitual. We live off of patterns and routine. So if you use your bed primarily just for sleep, every time you lay down, you're going to have a much easier time falling asleep at the end of the day. I know personally for me, when I want to have a lazier day and I sit up or lay down in bed and try to do some work or study, that I tend to doze off a lot easier than I would if I was sitting up at my desk or downstairs at the kitchen table, simply because my brain has been programmed to believe that the bed is a place for sleep. So that association really has an effect when you do things that aren't sleep in your bed. The last major piece of advice I give to people when I talk about sleep hygiene is to take everything that we talk about and try to make a daily routine of it. Like I said, your brain works on routines, it's habitual, so take all of these pieces of advice and actively try to do them every day so that you can get a great night's sleep every night. Studies have shown that a consistent period of poor quality sleep can have detrimental effects to your focus, your ability to remember information, and your overall happiness and health, which is why it's absolutely essential to maximize your quality of sleep every single night so that you can wake up feeling refreshed and ready to tackle the day every single day.